Welcome back to the desert, everybody. It is a beautiful evening for baseball, as long as the roof is closed. Temperature, again, the low 100s outside, but it's plenty nice inside in the upper 70s. Rockies now at 79 and 65. That's tied with the 2010 team for the second best mark through 144 ball games. Charlie will step up, and he'll face Taijuan Walker, and he fires at the first pitch, and he hits it in the air to center field. One of the things the Rockies want to do is get after that fastball earlier in the count against Taijuan Walker than they have in the recent past. Here's the Southwest batting order tonight for the Rockies. DJ will bat second, then it's Cargo in the 3 spot. Nolan, who drove in 4 last night, he had that RBI double also. Gerardo Parra, Trevor Story, Mark Reynolds, Jonathan Lucroy. Boy, did Jonathan swing well last night. And John Gray on the hill. DJ is 5 for 14, a .357 average against Walker, who's pitching his best baseball of the year over the last 4 ball games. In fact, 22 2/3 innings his last 4 outings. He's given up just 2 runs.
Only 18 hits. He's 3-0 at the .079 ERA. 21 strikeouts, 8 walks, .217 batting average against in the last 4, and one of those last 4 was against the Rockies. So you see 9 and 7 on the year for Walker. Against the National League West, he is 8 and 2.
Yeah, pretty impressive. That 2-0's in there, 2 and 1. Mark Ripperger is behind home plate as you look at Taijuan Walker's arsenal.
And he went through a stretch a little bit ago where he had a blister on his finger, had trouble with his changeup, and that's when some of the numbers got inflated. But since that finger has felt better, the changeup's come around, and you mentioned it, Drew, about trying to attack that fastball a little bit earlier. Don't get into those off-speed counts.
Well, you're in a fastball count, and that was pulled foul by DJ, who's hitting .355 in the first inning this year. Heck, in his career, he's always done damage in that first inning. .326. One of the top half-dozen hitters in the National League. Last year, as you're aware, he had .348, captured a batting title. There are 3 outfielders, either in center, or right. They have that alignment going again against Walker.
And on the infield, too, with Marte and Jake Lamb, it's like they could almost shake hands. They're that close on the left side.
And it first showed up when Walker threw against the Rockies and DJ a little more than a week ago. Another 3-2. And that's ball 4. So LeMahieu draws a 1-out walk.
Well, they're going to run that shift on DJ for any pitcher throwing over 94 miles an hour.
And last night against that shift, Spilly, he almost hit one out down the right field line. He hit a triple off the wall.
The part of the shift that I really like, if you're DJ, is that you know that you're going to have fastball. That they're going to challenge you fastball after fastball because they don't believe that you can pull it. We haven't seen many off-speed pitches when they're in that shift.
Cargo's had success against Walker, 4 for 11, including a home run. Last night he was 0 for 3 and a walk.
That's what he'll average on his fastball, 94. You might see a few 95s, maybe a 96, but he'll sit most of the night right at 93, 94. And here comes that changeup. Pretty good action on that. And that's where, and Spilly, that's where that, because of that blister, he wasn't able to turn that ball over.
His changeup is a split finger changeup, and that's probably why the blister makes it so difficult for him to throw it, because it's up against the seams.
And he comes back with another fastball. Cargo, who's usually very aggressive, has been patient. He's behind 1 and 2.
Now with the 2 strikes, they'll trying to figure out how they want to play it on the infield. They keep trying to move Marte over.
And that is strike 3. Cargo called out. You don't see too many at bats where he does not swing, but that was clearly within the Subaru strike zone. So Cargo is gone. They're 2 outs. That'll bring up Arenado.
Really much movement on it to come back inside. Cargo is arguing that it was in. I don't think it was. I think he was looking for something else.
Nolan was taken the whole way. He got a fastball. Nolan last night drove in 4. It's the 7th time this year he's driven in at least 4 in a game. That's how you end up with 123 RBIs. That's a strike also. Well, the game plan was to be aggressive against the heater, and I don't understand these last couple of at-bats.
No, the only one that was aggressive was Charlie on the very first pitch.
Walker's been throwing fastballs. And the 0-2 is bounced to short. Marte will get the force, and the Rockies are done in the first inning. John Gray's going for Colorado tonight. We'll see him next.
First inning now be up to John Gray. Follow up what he did out in LA his last start, where he out-dueled Clayton Kershaw in that game. 6 innings, 4 hits, couple walks. He had 6 ground ball outs, 4 fly outs, pitched very well inside and outside with his fastball. And the thing that he talked about after the game against the Dodgers, the way he was able to hold his delivery throughout all 107 pitches that he threw. He felt in complete control, able to use the off-speed pitches the second and third time through the year. 7-4 on the season, won back-to-back road wins, so he's looking for a 3rd consecutive road win. Is John tonight.
And his first pitch of the night is inside ball 1 on David Peralta.
John Smoltz was breaking down John Gray today, and he was talking about the fastball and the arm slot, but it's really the slider that's been the key for him.
That's got eyes. It's a base hit up the middle for Peralta. Here's the Southwest batting order for Torey Luvello's team. Chris Iannetta, even though it's a right-hander, he's going to be in that 2 spot once again. Jake Lamb will bat 3rd. He was out of the lineup yesterday against the lefty. He did have a pinch hitting appearance late. Paul Goldschmidt, J.D. Martinez had 3 more hits last night. Reigning National League Player of the Week, A.J. Pollock, Daniel Descalso, Tel Marte, and a good hitting pitcher in Taijuan Walker. Here's Iannetta. And that's
good pitch.
I guess a little bit beneath the knees at 97 and inside.
Said good movement on that pitch.
Chris has been swinging it well. 317 over his last 15 ball games. This one's playable for Reynolds. One out, and that'll bring up Lamb. Here's the Rockies defensively. DJ made an uncharacteristic error last night in the 9th inning, which led to a little bit of nervousness for all Rockies fans. Parra, Blackman, Cargo in the outfield. Jonathan Lucroy's behind the plate. Same group again as last night.
Oh, yeah, I was watching DJ today. You know, he always takes ground balls a little deep out there anyway, but I think he took a few extra because of the grass and the how short it is and how it's
uneven at times because it's hard. That may cost 2 bases. That will cost 2 bases. And you know, this goes back. We're just showing defense.
Yeah.
The only part of the Rockies game that one could criticize over the last 8 days, again, the Rockies have won 7 of 8, has been their defense. It has not been real tidy.
Not a real good throw, but Mark wasn't able to get down and kind of reach around there to stop that. David Peralta goes all the way to third. You know, just about 7-8 days ago, they were sitting first in all of baseball in defense.
They're third now.
Yeah, and fourth overall. Cleveland has moved back ahead of them.
Oh, did they drop to fourth today then?
Well, third in the National League, fourth in all of baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now the infield's back naturally with Lamb. Great opportunity for Arizona literally to steal a run.
One for a guy that's been scuffling in the second half, just hitting a little over 200. Even lower in his last 19 games, 167. He's got to be pleased.
He scuffled, as I recall, last year in the second half also. And John's fallen behind 2-0.
It's funny you guys say that he's probably looking forward to this at bat. At the same time, he's probably putting a lot of pressure on himself to get this at bat and the RBI in.
Two and one. Well, that's what makes John, even with the runner at third, 1 out, infield back, his ability to strike out guys. He is first all time with Rockies pitchers, strikeouts per 9. This guy's more than 25 starts.
And he's in a position to do it right here.
This is where the panic button sets in.
Yeah.
If you're Jake Lamb, you understand that you really want to get this run in. Infield's back, you just put the ball in play, but those snakes in his head based on the stats and the numbers he's put up over the last couple weeks are sitting there barking in your ear.
Why this game is so tough. 2-2. That had a lot of depth on it. That's his slider, and a lot of times his slider is late and has a little depth, but a lot of east-west movement. That thing had a lot of depth on it.
It acted more like a curveball, the way it was going north to south. Let's see what he throws down. John wants the fastball away and try to overpower him.
He did it on the first pitch. That was 99, so John did try to finish him with the fastball. He averages right at 96 miles an hour. One of the hardest throwing starting pitchers in baseball, and he'll maintain that velocity. Peralta at third, seeing eye base hit, and then a 2-base throwing error on Gray. Three and two.
I like that last pitch because it now establishes inside fastball inside Jake Lamb's mind. So fastball away's opened up and a slider down and in.
3-2. And that's fouled off as well.
And all over the Subaru strike zone with some fastballs. You mentioned that 7th pitch being the slider.
And he got him with a slider.
That was filthy.
That was filthy. Now they're 2 outs. And Goldschmidt coming up.
Mentioned John strikeout per 9. It's 9.37. You see the tight spin on the Subaru Supermo, the red dot that hitters have a tough time picking up, and try to see with the slider. Jake Lamb had been gearing up for the fastball that was just overmatched with that slider.
Goldschmidt takes a 98-mile-an-hour fastball for strike 1.
John's feeling it tonight. 98, 99.
17th start of the year. See the numbers on Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt missed 5 games last week with an elbow issue. He had an MRI on it, and there's no structural damage. He's got a
that's why he has
wrap on
that
it.
sleeve on, because Paul never would wear anything like that.
Too flashy.
Right.
Did he go? Evidently not. 2-1. I think you're right. That's more of a hard curveball.
Well, I'm just looking at the velocity at 82. You know, either one. Opponents are hitting 229 against the curveball, 182 against the slider. Going back inside, trying to keep those arms from being extended with the fastball.
Got to really get it in on him. And he did. He beat him to the spot. 98 miles an hour again. 2-2.
I talked about the game against the Dodgers and how he was able to pitch both in and out, and it didn't matter whether it's right-handed or left-handed. And then, well, that was something John was very proud of when he was talking after the game that night.
He's got him with sliders before away. Looks like they're going in again. Fastball, and this ball's hit a ton to left. Is it going to be playable out there for Parra? Yes! He makes the catch, and then he chats up the Arizona bullpen.
Said hello to his old teammates.
Hello, guys. I got it. Sit back down.
So Arizona, despite having Peralta with 1 out at third, does not score. Gerardo is going to hit first here in the second inning. He'll be followed by Joe and then Mark Reynolds.
That's right. He loves that. He loves when you yell, "Let's go, Joe."
Did I hear you a moment ago yelling, "Let's go, Joe"?
Yeah, I didn't realize my mic was hot.
Curveball in there for a strike on
we got
Parra.
to replay this catch because off the bat with that weird configuration down there, you're thinking, oh no. But on the Subaru Supermo, I just love the way he just says, "Hey guys, how you doing? Yeah, I caught it. Nothing."
Parra now lines it down the left field line, but it's into the seats foul.
And it goes back to the old thing, guy makes a great play to end the inning and it leads off the next. It helps that he has a lot of games under his belt here, that he knows how much room he has.
397 ball games at Chase Field, which is 6th most all time. He's also at 286 in this yard. 0-2. Parra last night 0 for 4, 1 for 3 lifetime against Walker. Taiwan was raised in California. He was born in Shreveport, Louisiana. Very accomplished high school basketball player.
That's what he was known for in high school. His hoops.
Yeah. Rockies, by virtue of the 7 consecutive road wins, are now 38-34 away from home. Updates from other ball games factoring into the wild card race. Milwaukee in the 7th inning, leading Pittsburgh 5-2. St. Louis in the 5th, leading Cincinnati 8-4 at Busch.
Pittsburgh was up 2-1 till they had the big 3rd or 4th inning.
Marte, and the 23-year-old makes the catch, 1 gone. If the Rockies score 7 runs or more, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special. Live Moss at Taco Bell. So here's Trevor. In yesterday's ball game, Story had a double in the 9th inning leading off. Unfortunately, the Rockies did not get him home. They left some traffic out there, Spilly, last night, even though they won 5-4.
Well, today, if you want to win, you have to make sure you have these quality at bats.
This is going to be a double at least. This will roll all the way to the 413 mark. Story is going to pause at second. Trevor starting to throw out extra base hits against righties as well. You know the kind of damage he's done this year against lefties. This is good to see.
Well, and it's good to see he jumps on the fastball. First pitch, 28th double of the season. Playing him slightly in the off gap was A.J. Pollock, and he takes it out to the 413 sign. Thought about going to third, but they got the ball in quickly, and Marte was able to cut it off and get the relay throw in. But it is nice to see Trevor do that. Get automatic scoring position.
Mark Reynolds now sitting on 29 home runs and 93 driven in. And Mark lines this to center field, but it's right at Pollock. Now to bring up Jonathan Lucroy. Jonathan was a very misleading 1 for 4 last night. The 1 was a triple, and the reason I say it was misleading, he found the barrel every time up.
Lined out to center field in the 5th, and another line drive in the 7th. And tonight, they're just going to say, nope, we're going to put you on first base with the intentional walk.
Yep, this was Graves
Which
on
I
deck.
still don't like, by the way. I mean, I haven't said that for a while, but this is a big league. So you got to be able to execute 4 pitches if you want the walk.
I agree with you. How much time does it save?
It doesn't matter. It's not. It can save 5 minutes. We saw a game last year, 2 years ago, where a Pittsburgh Pirate was unable to throw the intentional walk. Threw the pitch away. The Giants score a run. They win that game. They get into the wild card game by 1 game.
Right. I've seen guys get hits on intentional walks. I don't like it.
Gray's due for a big hit. John's average at 0.97. He does have a home run. You guys remember that? He hit it. It was 467 feet at the time. It was the longest home run hit by the Rockies this year. Story at second, Lucroy at first. Two strikes on Gray. And John goes down. So the Rockies will leave 2 on in the second. No score.
John Gray got out of the first inning, even though he had a runner at third with 1 out. Talking to John Gray yesterday about, being the ace, especially this time of year, coming down the stretch in September.
Yeah, you have to feel that way. You can't not want the ball. It's not going to turn out well for you. You gotta want it. You got to be the one out there. You got to be one to show it off. So, it's just more confidence for me.
And Huey, I think you said it. It seems like he's feeling it tonight, and he got out of that inning with the fly ball to Parra, who's below me in what used to be called Paradise Valley out here in Arizona. But
I like that, Mark.
Yeah, but I think he's feeling it tonight.
Well, he is, and some people might take what John was saying and misconstrue it to think it sounds cocky. I think it sounds confident is the way I look at it. You want that guy to be, I want the ball. I want to be the ace of a staff.
Yeah, and if you know John a little bit, you listen to John, it would not be misconstrued inside the organization. It would be applauded.
Right, exactly.
So here's J.D. Martinez, who is just on fire, and he takes a fastball off the plate, ball 1. 3 more hits last night. He captured the National League Player of the Week honors last week. He's hit 21 home runs since coming on July 19th to the desert. And he hits this a ton.
Wow.
That's a home run. 1-0.
Well, down here too, they're saying that JD stands for just dingers. 22 home runs at 46 ball games. Since July 19th, only Giancarlo Stanton has more. He has 25.
Guys, this home run hit above the scoreboard. You don't even see balls during batting practice go where this ball lands. Center cut fastball, squared up on the Subaru Supermo. It was loud down here. Even Jonathan Lucroy kind of shrugged his shoulders like that's hit really hard.
And to be able to carry it for as long as JD has. I mean, we see some guys get into one of those streaks where everything's just really going off the bat well for him. But JD, my oh my.
He's mashing.
He is.
Pollock reaches for one, and Cargo down the right field line in foul ground will have a play. 1 out.
But it was just a solo shot.
That's what you always fall back on when you give one up. Got to find a silver lining in there somewhere. Daniel Descalso coming up.
Number 3, Daniel Descalso.
Came off the bat at 114 miles an hour, traveled an estimated 447 feet. He had a line drive yesterday that hit Kyle Freeland on the arm. That was off the bat
115.
at 115. And you talked to Kyle earlier, and the great news is he actually threw today.
Yeah, he threw out to 100 feet. I said, how's it feel today? He goes, didn't really feel it when I was throwing. Because I thought after last night that it was going to be a big bruise and it was going to limit his ability just to even play catch.
I'm kind of surprised that he was able to do that. This was scary last night.
And I said, did you see it coming back? He goes, I saw a flash come at me. And he goes, I tried to get my glove up. It went off my arm and then off the side of my cheek. But he was just walking around today, kind of showed me that, showing the bruise, and we got to look at it. Honestly, that not what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be much darker, the color being more red.
Yeah,
I said, I'm good.
Good to be young.
Well, and it's just good that it hit him in the arm right there.
Good that it hit him in the right spot.
Yeah.
1-2 on Descalso. Sliders down. Daniels hit 10 home runs this year. His career best prior to this year was the 80 hit with the Rockies last season. He turned 31 in October. And that is strike 3. Nasty slider. 2 outs. Second strikeout for John Gray.
Fans, you can place a deposit on a 15 or 25 game mini plan for the 2018 season and guarantee 2017 postseason opportunities. Go to Rockies.com/mini plans for more details. And you can kind of get a glimpse of the 2018 schedule. It just came out today for the Rockies. Open up back down here against the Diamondbacks.
Well, they'll just move all their equipment over from North Scottsdale to downtown. They'll play 3 here beginning March 29th. Again, there's going to be more days off, part of the new collective bargaining agreement. And then they'll go to San Diego before opening up on April 6th. That's fouled off by Marte. I like the schedule. I think for fans it's great. For fans that like to follow the Rockies on the road and pick a spot that they haven't been to, the Rockies will go back to Seattle next year. They'll be in Anaheim. They'll play Anaheim actually at home as well. They'll be back in Arlington, your old stomping grounds. They'll go to Houston next year. And then they have some 4-game sets. I know they'll be in New York for 4. They'll be in Washington in April for 4. I thought it was a really appealing schedule.
Yeah, what I also like is every team opens up on the same day next year. March 29th. All
it's
teams,
a holiday, finally.
Let's go, finally.
0-2. Marte takes a curveball for ball 1. 1-2. Anything jump out at you, Spilly, about the schedule?
I think the March 29th date was the thing that stood out the most. We always think of April 6th to April 8th, scattered, one day, March 29th, holiday time.
DJ spins, throws, and gets Marte. That's a brilliant play by DJ LeMahieu. Arizona takes a 1-0 lead. J.D. Martinez. Has he been unreal? Home run. Baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by the 2017 Toyota Tundra in your hometown Toyota stores. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. And by Southwest Airlines. Say yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Rockies 5-0 on this road trip so far. Tonight, Wednesday night, Thursday afternoon before the Rockies return home to face the Padres for just a 3-game set, and then it's right back on the road. And in the third inning, with the Rockies down a run, it'll be the top of the order again. Charlie Blackmon saw one pitch from Walker.
It would show me something if he swings that first pitch again.
Yeah, he had a fly ball to center. He takes ball one. Charlie, a .351 career hitter against the Diamondbacks. 2-0. Now, Charlie last night was 1 for 4. That first inning double the Rockies didn't cash in on, and now he's got a 3-0 count. Walker has walked 49 coming in 137 2/3. And a walk. That's always a good way to start.
Well, especially after Arizona scored a run in the bottom of the second. Get that leadoff hitter on. Well, they go back to their shift, and we talked about it in the outfield, but you see that guy running there. That's David Peralta. That's the left fielder. So they keep A.J. Pollock in center. They don't slide him over into right center and then put Peralta in center field. They just shift him over to right center field, and J.D. Martinez is probably about 25 feet away from the line in right field. DJ beat that shift last night, but a lot of holes there today. Look at how much with Charlie on the triple last night. We thought it had a chance to get out, but he took it to right field, right off the wall by the fence, and ends up with the triple with 2 outs.
Yeah, he was just a home run shy of the cycle. And that inside out cut fouls that pitch off.
DJ's trying to pull the baseball. It's fun to watch because you see that entire left side of the outfield wide open. But at the same time with the DJ, even though he's trying to pull the baseball, he still keeps his hands inside.
Blackman at first. Charlie walked for the 58th time. This game just keeps evolving. Last year he walked 43 times.
This is fun.
It's hilarious,
isn't it? I mean, they're trying to pitch him a certain way, and DJ's just fouling pitches off.
There's the Subaru strike zone.
This is kind of playing into his hand in one sense. I know they're shifted in the outfield. DJ probably wants to pull, but with Charlie at first base and Marte swung way over in the hole, there's a lot of area. I mean, Daniel Descalso's close to second base, but between first and second and right up the middle, if he gets it on the ground, that's a first to third.
Walker ends up striking out LeMahieu, 1 out. Cargo coming up. We'll quickly check in Denver with Ashley Bahabitz. Ashley. I think it was Robert Young, wasn't it? Robert Young, Father Knows Best. Ashley would certainly not know that, but
I think it was Robert, the dad.
Yeah. Cargo did not swing the bat in his first at bat. Saw 4 pitches, 3 called strikes. Really an unusual at bat for Cargo. Takes ball 1.
I think he fires at this pitch. If it's a fastball close to the zone. I say that because hitters want to hit. And when you've taken just 3 strikes, your first at bat didn't lift the bat off your shoulder, you get ball 1, you get a little antsy.
See Charlie at first. You look at some of the metrics. Charlie's one of 6 players in baseball, they're all in the National League, that have an OPS, on base plus slugging percentage, above 1,000. Charlie's at 1021. Charlie takes off, and this ball's hammered to deep right center field. Way back. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. He swung the bat right there. Over the pool. Make it 2-1 Colorado.
Told you get antsy. Cargo, a no-doubter into the pool. It was a splash zone out there. They throw the ball back. He says, J.D. Martinez, yours was a solo shot. Mine was a 2-run home run.
That ball was blitzed, Billy. Your field level, man. That thing was hammered.
Watch the Ken Griffey Jr. finish. There's so many guys that wish they could style like that, and when Cargo hits it, it gets hit. It's the 3rd home run this week on this road trip. We're talking about a guy that didn't hit a home run on the road since May.
He also has 10 extra base hits in September. In just his 10th game in September. That's the most extra base hits he's had in a month all year. Previous high was 9 in May.
He kind of patterned his swing too off Ken Griffey Jr. and that finish, I played with Jr.
This ball is hit a ton by Nolan, but right at Pollock. That almost ate him up.
Well, that was knuckling. That was just classic finish from Cargo.
You know, we said a couple weeks ago, Huey, the hits were starting to come. He's throwing out some doubles. Now the power's coming back.
And the good thing for him, too, is you knew a fastball was coming. I just talked about all the reasons why he was going to swing at that pitch. So it's almost like a BP pitch that you know what it's going to come and you just hope to put a good swing on it.
Well, he certainly did that. There's Parra with 2 outs. Cargo 11 for his last 24. 458 average, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, and he scored 8 times. The other thing that he's doing, which is not lost on anybody who follows the Rockies, he's drawing his walks. He's taking his walks.
Oh, he got the walk last night right before Nolan hit the bomb.
Yep. This ball ripped down the line. Extra bases for Parra. This is a long run for Martinez, and it gets tied up there. Gerardo is on his way to third, and he is in with a triple. And for Parra, that is his first triple of the year.
Well, with the long run after you rip that kind of hanging slider up high, he tomahawked it, got on top of it, and then it kicks off the wall. And Spilly, that's a kind of a tough wall to play because of the angles down there for JD Martinez.
It's very difficult because it just shoots out. I'm looking at Taijuan Walker, and here's a guy that came into today's game having given up only 2 runs in the last 22 innings. This inning with the 2-run home run from Cargo, and now he looks a little bit shell-shocked.
Story takes a strike. He roped a double to left center, his first at bat.
And that's why he got the curveball.
Gerardo's attitude, personality reminds me of your Torrealba. There's similarities there. 2 strikes.
I would give that tweet and say yes. That's a very good call. Yorvi Gerardo. Yorvi will be in Denver this weekend.
Yeah,
We saw him down in Miami.
it was a blast seeing him. He's the same live wire, beautiful smile, fun to be around. 2 strikes on Story.
I think that was just a show-me fastball. I think Trevor might get another curveball here, and Gerardo be ready at third base.
Strike 3. Trevor didn't like the call. It ends the inning, but the Rockies have taken the lead. Carlos Gonzalez, a 2-run home run over the pool in right center. Here's our CenturyLink high-speed challenge question for the evening. Go to AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to cast your vote, and we'll share the results during the post-game show. Presented by Toyota. What is your favorite baseball superstition? I'm going to show the question one more time. Rally hats, boots, like Spilly's wearing, jumping over the foul line, eating the same pregame meal, or grooming. Taijuan Walker gets a hanging breaking ball and swats it into left field. So a leadoff single for Walker in the third. Billy, I was looking at those boots more closely today.
They're not doing so hot.
No, I mean they're hanging in there. You got spatted up on the left boot.
Billy, I'm just glad today, and full disclosure, you did not wear those when we went golfing this morning.
Oh, they would have fallen apart.
Well,
like my golf game.
No, but what I'm saying, though, is you're saving them for the baseball game. You didn't try to run them out there to get a win on the golf course.
No, clearly no. That's a base hit for Peralta. And now the Diamondbacks trying to counterpunch. They have 2 on, nobody out. A quick congratulations to the Cleveland Indians. They won again. They scored early. Francisco Lindor had a home run, his 30th of the year, the young shortstop for Cleveland. They win 2-0 tonight. 20 consecutive wins. They beat the Tigers, and they got a complete game from Corey Kluber. He threw a 5-hit shutout, struck out 8, did not walk a batter. There's going to be an interesting Cy Young race in the American League.
That's also Cleveland's 7th shutout during this 20-game win streak.
They've outscored the opponent during the 20 games by 102 runs. 102. Here's Iannetta. Curveball's off the plate. Cleveland, with all of the fine pitching of late, has jumped ahead of the Dodgers, who've not pitched so well of late, for the overall ERA lead in baseball, 341 to 343. You know who's third? It's the team the Rockies are playing. They've made a quantum leap from last year. Good pitch.
Last year, Arizona was last in the National League with a 5.09 ERA.
They've shaved a run and a half off their ERA, which is really extraordinary.
That's what happens when Zach Greinke finds his slider.
And they find a guy like Godley. They get Taijuan Walker in a deal. 1-1 on Iannetta, 2 on, nobody out. Rockies up 2-1, bottom of 3. And that hit him. And you've created a large problem. You got Lamb coming up.
Now batting, third baseman.
There's sins, fellas, that a pitcher can commit. One is walking. You don't want to walk anybody, but walking a pitcher or allowing a pitcher to get a hit. Now Walker's a good hitting pitcher, but it started with a hanging slider. I mean, when you throw 98. Throw 98 against the pitcher.
Against the pitcher. Unless you get 2 strikes and then you throw it in the dirt.
You got Jake Lamb his first time. And a first pitch slider.
That's what he struck Lamb out on, was a 90-mile-an-hour slider. But as bad as Lamb has been in the second half, he still has 98 RBIs, which is 6th in the National League.
This is where you got to have acute focus if you're John Gray. As John strives to be an ace, and he's still a very young pitcher, sophomore season ostensibly. And he's been good the last 10, 3.13 ERA. Spilly, there always seems to be one inning that gets him in a little bit of a bind, and right now it looks like he's facing that inning. 1-2.
For John, he's been talking about making sure he maintains focus pitch by pitch, because at times he does get rattled. Biggest growth for a young pitcher is making sure that you maintain that focus for as long as possible, regardless of what's going on around you.
10 of his 16 starts this year, he's had 1 inning where he's allowed multiple runs. 1-2. How did he not offer it that? That was well located.
Just south of the Subaru strike zone. I think you throw it again though, and you'd get Lamb to swing. He swung through 3 sliders in his first 2 at bats.
You're going to change up signs, I would think. Is that what's going on here, Hugh?
Yes. Definitely.
Did you ever come to one of those meetings and you talk and it was pretty clear that everybody thinks you're changing signs?
But
okay,
you don't.
You don't. We're not changing them. But everybody will think you're changing them.
And that could be the case too.
Two on Lamb, Goldschmidt on deck. Bases loaded, nobody out. Line drive, deep left. Parra will make the catch. That'll tie the game. And Parra throws a perfect throw to third to prevent Peralta from moving up.
But what a throw from Gerardo. To keep a decent runner, an average runner at second base, and David Peralta from advancing. He gets the ball up. Gerardo goes back. Watch how he gets back on that left leg and then fires a one-hop strike to Nolan.
Now here comes Goldschmidt. He was bidding for a home run his first time up on a high hooked fly ball down the left field line, and Parra made a great catch crashing into the fence. That ended a first inning attempt at scoring by Arizona. They had Peralta at third at the time. Goldschmidt just 1 for his last 22 against the Rockies. That was the odd thing about their sweep in Denver a little more than a week ago. Goldschmidt really wasn't much of an offensive participant in that series.
Yeah, they kept him in check. Just everybody else.
Line drive caught, and the throw to second, double play. The Rockies on a liner, double off Peralta, end of inning. All things considered, that went really well for John Gray. Bases loaded, nobody out, where he was in the lineup.
On the The question is, I didn't ever step on the line as I was going out to take the field. That was my superstition.
A lot of guys don't.
I know. You do not step on it. It's like stepping on a crack and breaking your mom's back. Remember that as a kid? It's the same sort of thing. You just don't want to tempt fate.
Jack Nicholson went a whole movie without stepping on a crack. That was a great film with Helen Hunt. 1-0 on Reynolds, 2-0 on Reynolds. Spilly, did you ever see that?
Which one, the Jack Nicklaus movie?
Yeah, no, Jack Nicholson is a golfer, buddy.
Yeah, it's a great golf
Yeah,
movie.
Great golf movie. That's a strike. A lot of people on Twitter wanted to know if you were wearing your boots. That's why we had to show them. 2-1.
So the boots, for people that don't know this story, I bought the boots in 2007. They were Mark Nason boots. They were sold at a boutique in Cherry Creek at the mall, and they were in the window and they were for sale half off for obvious reasons. And I was like, you know what? I'm going for it. Strike three looking. So I bought the boots. I roll up into the clubhouse. The guys are looking at the boots, the country guys like Todd and Hop and Aaron Cook, and they cannot stop laughing. They're like, what are those? I go, these are some boots that are going to get us some wins. So I'm not saying that 2007 had anything to do with the boots, but certainly we won a whole bunch of games with me wearing these ugly things. And so I busted them out, and I've hid these from my wife. I put them in the highest point of my closet because she's wanted to burn these things for several years, and because she's not very tall, she hasn't been able to get them. And so here they are, right in time for rally season.
Christy does that with all the good candy in our house.
Puts it up on the upper shelf.
Yeah, like not only I can't reach it, but I'm oblivious to the fact that it's even in the house. So wrong. 1-1 on Lucroy.
Did that tweet a moment ago say rally boots or elf shoes?
That's what it said.
Yeah, they're elf boots. It's messed up.
That is.
High fastball, 2-2.
Stop it.
Sorry.
Now Lucroy doing his thing, working the count full. Jonathan hitting .274 in a Rockies uniform. He's kidding with him today in the clubhouse about how he owns Greinke.
He does.
He does.
Greinke whisperer.
And a base hit the other way for Lucroy. One out. John Gray coming up. Rockies and Diamondbacks tied at 2. Let's check in again with Mark Stab. Mark?
Hey, Drew, you guys were referencing last year compared to this year. So I did my 16 going on 17 stats for the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. They actually started a 3-game series on this day in Arizona last season. The Rockies had 10 less wins than they have now. Arizona 25 less. You see the numbers you were talking about, ERA, way different. And of course you got different managers too. That series last year, Arizona put up 34 runs on the Rockies and swept them in 3. We're hoping for a different result this year.
Yes, we are. Gray
They
takes
got the first
ball
one last night. Beat Greinke. I mean, he didn't get the loss, but to me, you still beat him.
Didn't it appear to you guys that for a period of time the Rockies were playing tight? What that series in LA I think has enabled them to do 2-0 is really to loosen up, and they've played by and large a much better brand of baseball, obviously, and a more successful brand of baseball, bottom line, the last 8 days.
Breathe again.
Breathe again. Breathing's a good thing.
Breathing's a great thing.
And it happens to every team. It's not like
That's
there's
the Dodgers.
Yeah, and that was last night's game, by the way. If anybody was still awake, was the most entertaining baseball game I've seen in a long time because everybody was miserable. Announcers were miserable, players were miserable, fans were asleep, Seagulls were asleep. It was perfect. Bizarro baseball.
The game ended in the Mountain Time Zone well after 3 in the morning. Gray gets the bunt down, and boy, that came close to being a tweener past Goldschmidt and past Walker. That would have been interesting.
I've got it, you take it. Oh no, but instead Paul Goldschmidt comes in and fields it, but still John with his second sacrifice of the year.
Center field, Charlie Blackman.
Spilly, did you stay up and watch that whole Dodger game then?
Yes. I've never laughed so hard watching a game because you can tell how miserable everybody was, and they were all in it together.
And again, in that ball game last night, folks, the Giants were up 4-0, and the Dodgers came back, took a 5-4 lead briefly, and then the Giants scored a few runs. They ended up winning 8-6 after 2 in the morning is when they completed it in the Bay Area. Here's Charlie. He takes a strike, trying to drive in Lucroy and give the Rockies the lead again. So now it's 16 out of the last 17 games the Dodgers have lost. I mean, whatever speeches they were running out like 10 days ago, what do you run out now?
Well, they even brought Tommy Lasorda in the locker room on, was it Sunday? I think it was Saturday or Sunday, to try to give him a little rah-rah. They got Clayton Kershaw on the mound tonight.
Yeah, that's the speech they're hoping ends the run of 11 straight losses. But in his last outing, the Rockies hammered him. Nolan, a 3-run home run 4 minutes into the ball game. 1-1. And this is up the middle. Diving stop made, and the out recorded at first. Daniel Descalso takes a hit and a run away from the Rockies. Well, the former Rocky has hurt the Rockies this year. Colorado Rockies baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. And by Bond Fees, it takes all types to save lives, give blood. Rockies and Diamondbacks tied at 2 as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. And J.D. Martinez, who hit a monstrosity of a home run to center field in the 2nd, up against John Gray, and he's probably surprised he got another fastball, strike 1.
Well, back in the second inning. They wanted to go inside, and it didn't get in enough. And he hit the ball 447 feet. As you said, an exit velocity of 114 miles an hour.
That was a big fly. And a curveball that he saw pretty well, 0-2.
I think that ball was hit farther than 447 feet. I think that's just where it hit the scoreboard and stopped.
They couldn't measure it any further, right?
Yeah, because it hit the scoreboard. It can't go any further.
2 strikes on Martinez. 4 hits, 5 at bats in this series. And Gray got him with a hard curveball.
I want to go back to last inning when the D-backs had the bases loaded and nobody out. And they get the sac fly, which, you know, that's 1 run. But Spilly, Gerardo getting behind this ball and then making a strong throw to third base to keep that runner there, and then the double play in order. I think that was the key to that inning.
Absolutely. This is a game where you cannot give up 90 feet. And think about it. If Peralta is able to get to third, first and third, the entire defense is different. The way it was set up, even a line drive to Trevor would not have created the double play.
And you still would have been dealing with Martinez with traffic.
So 2 plays tonight by Gerardo have saved runs.
First pitch strike to Pollock. Second pitch.
Good location.
Is just outside.
Boy, not by much on the Subaru strike zone, if any.
The other interesting thing about this recent run by the Rockies out on the road. 1-1 on Pollock. Nasty curveball. 1-2.
Good curveball tonight.
Got a really good curveball. The Rockies sweep the Dodgers. I don't care if they're reeling or not. They had the best record. They still do at home in baseball. They win last night in Arizona against a team that has the 2nd best home record in baseball. One, 2, and he just overwhelmed Pollock there. That is a great sequence of pitches. 2 outs, 4 strikeouts now for John Gray. Inside the division, this is interesting. The 2 best teams in the tough Wild West, Arizona's 38-26, just slightly better by percentage points than the Rockies are inside the division. Look at the Dodgers, best record still in baseball. They're now under 500 inside the West. I find that really fascinating.
It is when they're 60-19 against the rest of the league. But you're talking about LA at home this year. They're 52-23. And then Arizona's 20 games over, 46-26.
And Huey, San Diego has the same number of losses in the division. There's a base hit for Descalso. Same number of losses in the division as the Dodgers.
Really?
And by the way, they're in the 3rd inning in San Francisco, no score. Here's Marte.
Cueto's on the hill for San Francisco.
It's a great pitching matchup. Marte was robbed of a hit by LeMahieu. DJ going to his left on the grass.
I'm a little surprised and I would say amazed that Arizona hasn't put that fake turf in here, just for the grass and how hard it is to keep a field in the summertime here.
I mean, think of some of the divots that Spilly took today. Similar turf.
Tractor pulls.
1-1.
I thought the Shankosaurus was an extinct animal. Apparently it's not.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it lives out on the golf course.
My favorite line of the day is Spilly and Huey were both, like 15 feet off the green. Laying 2. Here's the 1-1. That's a good pitch. 1 and 2. And Spilly laid down the law. He said, closest to the pin, this is to the death.
Yeah.
He promptly walks up to his ball and hits a dead shank right.
That was so easy. Oh, man. I need to work on my short game.
Among other parts of your game. No, we're not going to beat you up. You weren't bad today.
Wasn't good.
You're all right. Here's the 1-2.
Ooh.
You know who's really good? It's Dwayne Espy's son, Dino, who played with us today. He's stupid good.
One final golf thing. Corey Sullivan and Garrett Atkins won the Avs golf tournament today. They shot 52.
God, improve their lie. Like, they are great liars.
Just saying.
Well, Addy, Sully at least works. Addy's a professional golfer basically now, right?
Garrett Atkins is one of the best golfers I've ever played with.
What else is he doing?
Nothing.
Changing diapers and working on his short game.
Rocky show, Dad.
The
Rocky
Rocky
show.
show.
Let that kid stay up. He doesn't have school tomorrow.
Close to 9.
See ya.
See ya.
Great pitch by Gray. That'll end the inning. Ends up striking out the side. Descalso left at first. 5 punch outs for Gray. To the 5th inning we go. Good one. Rockies 2. Diamondbacks 2.
Depends on what side of the dugout you're in. Buddy's still bitter about it, huh? I don't think he'll let it go. Let it go, bud. He touched it.
Well, Buddy's old team's coming to town. Catch the action when the Padres come to Coors Field September 15th through the 17th. That's this weekend, folks. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Purchase your tickets online at Rockies.com. And again, the 2007 reunion tour kicks off on Friday, September 15th.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be a great weekend. Here's DJ with that big shift on again. DJ a walk, and a strikeout, with the Milwaukee's now reached in 24 straight. It's the longest stretch going in the National League for any player. The longest in baseball is owned by Mike Trout. He's reached in 38 in a row. He plays for the Angels, guys.
He's real good.
Angels down to Houston 1-0 in Anaheim in the 3rd inning. That's well inside. DJ, Cargo, Arenado. Rockies 2, Diamondbacks 2. Arizona 5 hits, Colorado 4 hits.
I want DJ to pull the ball so bad. I just want to see what it looks like.
We had a pitch to pull there. Well, if he were to hit a fly ball, just, you know, any kind of fly ball to the left, Marte's got to go fetch also. He's got to go out.
It's kind of like playing in Fenway with the Green Monster. Sometimes the outfielder get too close to the wall and the shortstop ends up going to get it.
This ball's well hit to right center, but the shift will win this time.
That will
Peralta makes the catch, and now he'll have a long run back over to left field.
So that's deceiving in all these metrics, because that's going to go down as a put out by the left fielder.
Yeah, does he get
like a range
DRS and
up two times or whatever? So his range factor is going to go off the charts.
The catch probability on that by a left fielder was zero.
Yet he made it.
Just gets a heck of a jump. He sees it off the bat really well.
Cargo saw this one off the bat really well. A 1-0 fastball into that pool in right field.
Weird, I'm writing in my book L7.
Right, that's what I put down too, but
I put it in parentheses and I wrote shift underneath it.
Okay.
1-2 on Cargo. There's Tom Hallion, said no swing.
You think he would do his dance if he was at third base on a check swing if calling him out?
No.
No, he had his night. Now he's
got to recover.
Yeah.
He didn't have many of those last night.
Just a couple. 2-2. And now Cargo works it full, 3-2. 5th inning, Walker has tossed 76 pitches.
Does Walker give him a fastball? That's the question here after what he did in his last at bat. Nope, going curveball.
And he loses him.
And that was the pitch. Remember the game he had in Colorado? He probably threw this off speed as curveball with as much consistency as any pitcher this year in the start in Colorado.
I would agree. So here comes Arenado. The Coors Light Cold Hard Facts are brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. 120 RBI seasons all time by a third baseman. Nolan now has 3. A-Rod with 4 is the record. Tells me Nolan will own that mark. Iannetta with a really good block.
It's always been a pretty strong suit of Chris's. And that's why they brought him over here. They needed some veteran guys behind the plate with Chris and Jeff Mathis. Chris Herman runs back there occasionally.
Chris has had a really good year for Arizona. Nolan hit the ball right on the barrel his last time up, but he hit it at A.J. Pollock. Nolan with 33 home runs. 33 home runs, and folks, 17 of those home runs have been out on the road.
What?
I know it's not allowed, doesn't happen. He's got only 3 less hits on the road than he has at home. Billy, you can see the respect, and you understand the respect that Walker has for the middle of that Rockies lineup.
Well, if he's looking and seeing what I'm seeing with Nolan, all of Nolan's actions are telling you if you throw him a strike, it's going to get hit hard. You can tell body language, you can tell with the guy's load and how it's quiet, his takes. That's a pitch that we've seen Nolan fire at. He's not even close to biting on anything. And same with Cargo. Cargo's gotten back to the point where he's seen the ball out of the hand.
And he'll get a 3-1 pitch to work with. Ball 4, and now Parra will hit with 2 men on. Walker nibbling. Did not want to throw a strike to Nolan, and to his credit, that was a team at bat, Huey, by Arenado. He didn't expand.
52nd walk on the season for Nolan. I'll get Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, out. And you're right. I mean, Cargo took his at bat, took the walk. You know, Nolan wants to hit, but if they're not going to give him a strike, then go ahead and take it. And Gerardo, who tripled his last time up, is in a good spot.
Well, here's a question for you guys. We were talking earlier a little bit that if you had to pick an MVP for the Rockies, and they have 2 National League MVP candidates, strong MVP candidates, and Blackmon and Arenado. Who would be the next guy if it was a team MVP? You know, those guys are some combination of 1-2. Is it Parra? Is it Reynolds? Is it DJ? Among position players?
Wow,
that's tough.
That's a great question.
Right.
Because this guy's had a great year.
I would say Parra.
And there's no wrong answer.
No,
I mean, he's hit 327 with 10 jacks and 67 driven in. He missed a month.
I might lean towards Mark.
Just and you're not wrong there.
No, with 29
home
and 93.
Yeah.
And first base.
And DJ's got 60 RBIs and a 317 batting average, batting second.
But that's what you need in a team that's in the playoff hunt. You need more than 1 or 2 guys. And we're trying to discuss who's 3, 4, and 5 in the conversation.
This ball is on the ground to short, and a high throw, and that keeps the inning alive. The throw by Descalso almost went into the dugout. Paul Goldschmidt got up and saved the throwing error on Descalso, and that will allow Story to hit with runners at first and third.
That's a good feed from Marte right there. Daniel just makes a high throw. Nolan goes in just like he's supposed to. Off the end of the bat, a little 2-hopper right there. And he just airmailed it. He's lucky that Goldschmidt's 6'4" and can get up. Hey, that's a free.
It's an extra out.
Yeah, giving him an extra out this inning.
Trevor, see what he learned from that last at bat. He had a double on a fastball, then got basically all curveballs. And he gets a curveball first pitch. Spilly, you were a right-handed hitter, enough that you'd sit curveball right here?
No, because you don't have to sit on a curveball to hit a curveball. If you set your sights up, if you're looking for a fastball probably belt high or above, any curveball that's in that neighborhood is a hanging curveball to the hitter. You don't have to sit on certain off-speed pitches. You allow your fastball approach just looking for a sight.
Got a heater and took it. It's 1-1.
The only time you really sit on a certain off-speed pitch would be a changeup. That, or you're just pulling on you're looking away for a slider, and your sights are set for a slider spin. But most of the time, you don't have to sit off-speed.
This ball lined to left field, and the catch is made by Peralta. So Taijuan Walker escapes in the 5th. It remains 2-2.
It's 2-2 here as we go bottom 5 in Arizona. Milwaukee has already won at home over Pittsburgh by a score of 5-2. And the Cardinals have a big lead at home against the Reds, 13-4. They're in the 9th. So let's go to the Rocks magic number. We're doing this from here on in. The number 16. What 16 do we have? Hey, it's Houston Street. Look at that. Yes, Houston Street, number 16. 84 saves in his career with the Rockies, guys.
Good follow on Twitter also. And a good friend of Ryan Spilborn's.
Baby Street, one of my favorites.
All the 16s, Danny Schaefer. And there's another curveball that's hit well. Parra makes a great catch. Wow. And another conversation with the Diamondback bullpen.
That's 3 Gold Glove plays tonight in 4+ innings.
That was even better than the first one.
Well, because of the distance he had to travel, because he was playing a little shallower than he would if Paul Goldschmidt was up there.
Wow.
Hey, message to John Gray.
Let's
not throw throw Walker any more curveballs. That catch was phenomenal.
It's worth another look on the Subaru Supermo. Outstretched, and that's the thing. Oh, this one's much easier. Look at that. This is just a can of corn there. And I like the way the crowd's booing him too, Spilly.
I love raining boos down on the Rockies players. It's just telling you, yeah, they're respecting him.
Right? Is there a greater compliment than to get booed on the road?
Nope, none at all.
2 outs, Ionetta coming up.
But what I was going to say, Spilly, is the way he went after that ball for Walker, how he was running, and then the last step he put his glove out. Instead of too many times you see some guys running with their arm already extended.
I think it also shows you that you can be a really good outfielder without being a blazer, because Parra's not a blazer, but his routes, Spilly, are so clean.
They're perfect. He takes perfect routes, and he can run without looking at the baseball, which allows you to run at full speed.
Iannetta gets locked up
That's
on a
a
good
knee
curveball.
buckler.
This is as good a curveball as we've seen John have, with the exception of the hanger to Taijuan Walker.
2 of them.
97. I'll tell you something else. This is the 5th inning, and hopefully John can make it a 1-2-3 inning. Stay under 70 pitches. In a perfect world, he gives them big time length tonight. That is fought off and a base hit for Iannetta on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. So that'll bring up Lamb. And you always want that, but tonight it is of particular importance because most of the Rockies' plus side of the bullpen is down tonight. Holland's down, Neshek is down, McGee is down.
And I know some people are probably saying, well, what? I mean, Jake threw a third of an inning, just 8 pitches. Pat threw a third of an inning, 15 pitches. Mike Dunn a third of an inning. But it's the amount of work they've had over the last 4, 5, 6 games.
Right.
The times they've gotten up in the bullpen and maybe even haven't been used. That all counts too.
Well, the good news is the Swiss Army knife. Chris Russin's available. Chris has a towel and a glove. You know it'll be serious when he has a towel and a ball. You know it'll be serious when he has a glove and a ball. Inside on Lamb, 1-1.
In case you wonder, need a refresher too, that John threw 107 pitches in the last start against the Dodgers.
I think over the course of this season, there's 2 injuries that have hurt the Rockies. John Gray with his foot and Tyler Anderson with his knee. But on the other side of it, this September, John Gray, you can tell, he feels fresh. He feels great. And for Kyle Freeland yesterday, again, hitting the arm with the line drive from J.D. Martinez, we got to see a healthy, fresh Tyler Anderson for the stretch run.
Who got the win and was just outstanding yesterday in 4 innings. That didn't miss by much. Two and 2 on Lamb. Anderson yesterday ends up going 4 innings, did not allow a run, just 1 hit, didn't walk anybody, struck out 4.
And of the 59 pitches, he threw 41 for strikes.
Lucroy, good block, 3 and 2. A couple other notes on the scores that Mark was mentioning. The Giants have taken a 1-0 lead on Kershaw and the Dodgers. Kelby Tomlinson, his first home run in 280 at-bats. And Minnesota tonight beat the Padres 16-0. They homered in each of the first 7 innings of that ball game. You know how many times that's happened in big league history?
1
today. That'll be moving. 3-2, and that's strike 3. Lamb gone. Diamondbacks done in the 5th. We go to the 6th inning. It's the Rockies 2 and the D-backs 2. Boy, has Parra had a night with the glove. Colorado Rockies baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Say yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Play a little virtual reality baseball. How'd we do? Hit it to Spilly.
How long will it
out.
be? Billy, how long do you think it'll be before they have that where the pitchers, so before you go to an at-bat against a guy, that they'll have the pitcher that you can put the goggles on and...
Oh, I know it's here. It's here already.
Down the third base line, Lamb gets a clean hop and makes a good throw to get Reynolds.
But I mean, where it's in like every clubhouse and it's just kind of there and it's part of your routine.
Yeah, it's coming. I'm telling you, I saw it in winter meetings, and it's here. Teams are starting to look into it.
That'd be wild to put that on before you say, okay, we're going to face Walker tonight. And then you guys got their goggles on, sitting there watching his delivery.
Run out Jonathan Lucroy. Well, Chris O'Dowd, Dan O'Dowd, they've been involved in a project, right, Spilly?
That was the one that I tried, and I faced Aroldis Chapman.
How'd you do?
I raked him. I crushed him. It's virtual reality. I can do whatever I want. He was throwing changeups. I asked for 85 down the middle.
Atta baby. Lucroy pulls this toward the hole, and Lamb makes a good play. 2 outs.
Well, fans, Rockies baseball is always live with the MLB.com and Bat mobile app. Stay connected all season with video highlights, stats, news, and more. Still time to get that app.
Well, 2 pitches, 2 outs. Which means John has to take.
And then if you're in that opposite dugout, Troy Lavelli said, you know the pitcher's going to take a pitch and you don't throw a strike right down the middle.
Walker in the 90s now for number of pitches, and Taiwan, it's not due up for a while. We'll see if he gets extended. And the reason I make that statement is the Diamondbacks feel pretty comfortable that they have secured a wild card spot. And yesterday, Zach Greinke, who was pitching as he normally does, great baseball, 7 innings, 2 runs. He only threw 92 pitches and was removed. So we'll see if Walker pitches beyond the 6th inning today. He's in the mid-90s again. 2-2. Favorite lines. That's our #1 rule around here. Be ready for anything. Repeats that a couple times a week. John Gray in the 6th inning. He'll face Goldschmidt, Martinez, and Pollock. 3 pretty good baseball players. And Paul gets spun around. 1-0 on Goldschmidt. Deep fly ball to left, robbed of extra bases on a great catch by Parra in the 1st, and then he hit a soft line drive that turned into a double play. Story made the catch. Curveball for a strike on Goldie.
This is the maturity from John. The 2nd, 3rd time through a lineup. It's not all fastballs. It's some curveballs to get it over for the first pitch strike. And then follow it back up with a 96. Oh, how about that? Got the uni, the hat, and the hair.
He's got it all down.
That's great.
He's rocking it.
2-2. It's been more fastball, curveball tonight than slider. And I just laugh because I think back to spring training 2 years ago. John threw a curveball. I forget who it was against.
It was Corey Seager, first pitch. First pitch swing and hit it out.
He hit it a mile, and he didn't throw another curveball the rest of the spring. And now he's got a plus curveball. And that slider strikes out Goldschmidt. That's an unhittable pitch.
In the location that he threw, it comes out of the hand looking like a fastball, and John gives a little spin at the end too. Boy, that is filthy. And when you have somebody, and I said it earlier, you know, today right before we came to the ballpark, they were discussing this game on MLB Network, and John Smoltz was talking about a slider. Smoltz had one of the best sliders going. It was a awful facing him. I remember doing it when he was a starter with Atlanta, and he was complimenting John on his slider and the way it breaks and the depth to it. And with the arm slot, now Hardy throws it. It's a lot like Smoltzy, where it's fastball, 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 slider as you go to swing at it.
Stuff-wise, this guy's special. Got a special hitter at the plate. He's in a special zone right now, J.D. Martinez.
J.D. Martinez with Arizona. He has 49 hits, 31 of them for extra base hits.
22 of them are home runs. He hit one earlier. And then in the 4th inning, Gray struck him out. He's ahead 0-2. And he's going to get him on a fly ball to Cargo.
And what did he get him with? Got him with the curveball.
Pollock with 2 outs. And despite the dominant stuff, John loved to get Pollock here. It'd be his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. He's in position to have the 1-2-3 inning last inning, and Ionette on a 1-2 pitch, a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, kind of fought it off into right field for a single.
The good news too is John was the last batter of the last inning, so you don't have to worry about, oh, his spot's coming up.
And by all appearances, I think Walker's done. You have double-barreled action going in the Diamondbacks' pen. Curveball, strike 1. It's Chafin on the left side and Hernandez on the right side.
Yeah, I think it's bullpen matchup time for the Diamondbacks, and they're not going to not use Archie Bradley tonight.
Warmed up yesterday. That ball is lined to left. It's extra bases. It'll be a double for Pollock. Again, John has pitched well. There's no denying that. But he still hasn't been able to have a 1-2-3 inning.
He has given up a hit in every inning too. Back-to-back curveballs. Didn't have quite the bite that some of the other ones had, but I think you got to just tip your cap there to A.J. Pollock. He went down and got that one.
Pollock had been scuffling.
Well, I love Daniel Descalso as a Colorado Rocky. I do not feel the same way about him as an Arizona Diamondback.
He's been good in a Diamondback uniform. He's been clutch. Tough out of late. 355 average his last 12. John's got to get him here. Keep the score tied at 2. He's just maintaining 97 to 99.
And he came into the game averaging on his fastball 96.
Sliders in the dirt, 1-1. That's a good pitch. 1-2. Focus here, make one more pitch to get out of the inning.
Some interesting numbers for John Gray on fastballs up in the zone. Is the highest batting average ball in play on fastballs up. He's got to locate down in the zone.
Got him. Blew him away at 98. So John Gray said, no problem. I see you, Pollock, at second base. You're not going anywhere. Boy, has he been good. Well pitched game. The Rockies will try to get after that Diamondback bullpen when we come back. Tied at 2. It is time for the Cootie Lexus look back. Diamondbacks took a 1-0 lead on this long home run to center field off the scoreboard by who else? JD Martinez. But the Rockies would take the lead when Cargo lost one over the pool with a man aboard. Diamondbacks got a sac fly to tie things up, and that is where we're situated. 2-2. It's been 2-2 since the 3rd, and we move to the 7th. John Gray averaging 97.1 miles an hour on his fastball. I mean, we're talking about a starting pitcher who's closing in on 90 pitches in the contest, and he's blowing 97 plus. Big strikeout of Descalso, his 8th to end the 6th inning. Blackman will lead it off for the Rockies. Charlie is 0 for 2 and a walk. He was robbed in the 4th inning by Descalso with 2 outs of a base hit up the middle, which would have given the Rockies the lead.
Well, Charlie has Andrew Chafin on his mind because it's fresh from last night. They faced each other. Chafin locked him up with a fastball at 94 miles an hour after throwing him 3 or 4 sliders in a row. And that was in the 8th inning last night.
1-1. Charlie got beat last night.
Barely caught the Subaru strike zone.
I'm betting on Charlie to win the matchup tonight. Two and one.
Yeah, you give him another look at him. You know, he's dialed in.
Two and two.
2 for Chafin. He stands on the extreme third base side, which is a little unusual for a left-handed kind of specialist type. You would think he'd be on the first base side because he's going to face a left-handed batter. But he likes to step on that side, and most of the time it's going to be try to do that sweeper away from you.
That's off his foot. That's foul. Part of the reason he does that, he crossfires. If he's on the extreme first base side of the rubber and crossfires, there's no way he's going to get the ball glove side.
No, and so that's why he's on the third base side.
Yeah.
To allow him to get more balls to that glove side. The arm side's not really a problem for him then.
2-2. Blackmon 80 extra base hits. As we like to say, pick a category offensively, and you're going to see his name at the very top of the list or close to the very top. And this ball's lined to deep left field, but Peralta is there. Rockies, Spilly, have hit some atom balls tonight.
It's been a lot of loud outs tonight. A lot of quality at bats on both sides, both the Diamondbacks and the Rockies. But this is the type of game that you love. It's well played, quality at bat after quality at bat, quality pitches.
Well, this is interesting because we kind of assumed this was going to happen. It happened last night where Torey Lovullo started matching up at the top of the Rockies order. He didn't do it with Cargo, though. I don't think he'll make the same mistake tonight.
Fans in the second.
There's DJ LeMahieu. He will come up with 1 out. Hey, it's Tuesday. DJ, he plays second, he hits second, and he spins the hit. So how about a 2 for Tuesday like they do on, say, 103.5 The Fox in Denver, right? Because DJ the last 2 years at Chase Field, coming into tonight, 14 games, 389 batting average, 21 hits, 2 homers, 7 extra base hits, and 8 RBIs. And that includes last night when he had the single, double, and triple. Let's see if we can get things started here in the 7th.
All right, Mark, so he's up there against David Hernandez. Righties have hit actually much better than lefties have this year against Hernandez. The veteran pitcher has allowed righties a 279 average, lefties 184.
Back with Arizona again after starting the year with the Angels. 94 is his average on the fastball, and first pitch is 94.
DJ lined to the left fielder Peralta, playing right center field his last time up.
Mark, if DJ pulls one into that left field corner, will you spin some hits for us?
What do you want to hear? 2 for what? Bowie, Queen?
This ball is pulled left center field. Long run for Pollock. He'll get there and hold DJ to a single.
I'm counting it.
Really got on top of that ball.
His intent, which he doesn't usually change, but Spilly, you could tell his intent was to get the bat head out.
The bat head has to come out if he wants to beat the shift, and you're knowing with David Hernandez, whose fastball averages over 95 miles an hour, that you're going to get one.
Okay, Drew.
Well, they're going to face Cargo at the righty. They don't have a lefty up, but
and they have 4 lefties in their bullpen. They already used Chavis, so they still have 3 lefties left.
Outside on Carlos. He struck out looking, did not swing the bat in his first at bat against Walker. And then Huey pointed out, he said, that's not going to happen here. He's going to fire early in the at bat. Second pitch, he hit one 5 miles. He walked his 3rd time up. And that is hooked foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Cargo 3 for 9 in his career against Hernandez.
11 home runs now, 50 driven in. It's been such a rough year, and it's well chronicled for Cargo. It's just now with that home run, fellas, that Cargo has moved his slugging average over 400.
That is, when you're talking about 420 plus at bats.
Cargo drives it high and deep again. Take a good look. You won't see this one for long. Even further than the last one. And the Rockies take a 4-2 lead. Guess who's back, folks?
That man right there. Thank you for pitching to him, Torrey, and not bringing in a lefty. Spilly, okay, there's been 3 home runs hit tonight. We know that JD Martinez has sounded loud. Cargo's first one was pretty loud. I think that one was the loudest one of the evening.
Sounded like a cannon blowing out at home plate. It was incredible. Right off the bat, the entire dugout screamed. Watches Cargo after he hits. He looks into the dugout, pounds his chest, and says, "Let's go."
Wow.
Hey, 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 look at me, Ma. I'm back.
Subaru Supermo, and Cargo reaches. It gets a slider that didn't do anything.
How many times over the years have we witnessed for a week, 10 days, this guy truly carry a team. There are very few players that can do that. 2 two-run home runs tonight, and the Rockies lead it 4-2. 1-1 on Nolan.
Think about this. All it took really for Cargo was to change his grip, get the bat head and the bat back into his fingertips where he can control the barrel. Once he did that, the confidence slowly started coming, and it's amazing what happens when a player has that confidence.
Goldschmidt hoping for a play, and he'll make the play.
And what do we always say too, Spilly, about, you know, once a guy has confidence, the last thing to come is the power. Well, I think the power's here. Cargo 4 home runs in his last 5 games when he had 4 home runs in his previous 73 games.
There's a ton of scouts here. We've been visiting with them during dinner each night. You know, some are advancing for upcoming series. There's a lot of scouts here taking a look at the Rockies and Diamondbacks from not only other National League teams that seem like they're going to be participants in the postseason, i.e. Washington, the Dodgers, the Cubs, potentially Milwaukee, etc., but also some American League clubs. And they're writing furious notes on Carlos Gonzalez again.
There's probably been more scouts in these 2 games down here than we've seen in the previous, 6 games or 7 games that we've been down here this year combined.
Yeah, some of the big boys, not only literally but figuratively. I'm thinking of Charlie Kerfeld is when, you know, Charlie's one of the, you know, if Charlie's in, you know, the game is of importance. Two strikes on Parra. 1-2 on Gerardo.
I think when the scouts write up the report on Carlos Gonzalez, it just says, heads up. Look out. Pick your poison between him and Nolan.
Parra drives this ball, but right at Martinez. Boy, the Rockies have taken good ABs tonight, but nobody's taken 2 better swings than Cinco. Little Pony with 2 two-run home runs, and the Rockies have a 4-2 7th inning lead in the desert. Here's our Kubota pitching performance. Let's focus in on the former Okie. John Gray through 6 innings, 2 runs, 7 hits, no walks, 8 strikeouts. And Big John ready to work here in the 7th. shortstop. Vitel Marte will be leading off. That was a big strikeout there of Descalso to end the 6th inning with a runner at second. Slider for a strike. He's had the whole repertoire tonight, guys.
A lot of curveballs, and I think too the other important thing is John knew going into this start that some guys were down in the bullpen, that he had to give them some length. I like the way DJ just dropped to a knee there at second base. Make sure that didn't scoot underneath. But for John, you know, his mindset is always to take the ball, go as long and hard as he can. But tonight there was a little added importance to that.
Well, that's why I felt like it was so important for John when you start looking at the amount of starts he's had this year, 17 starts. If he had pitched the entire year healthy, you're looking at close to probably 28, 29. Maybe there's some fatigue. He doesn't have that. This is mid-season for John now. And so out of all the starters in the Rockies arsenal, here's the guy with arguably the highest ceiling with the freshest arm.
Coming into the game just 86 in the 3rd inning.
Ray Fuentes is the pinch hitter. Here's the 0-1, and that's 0-2 at 98. And once again, it bears repeating. The bullpen, as Huey said, is thin tonight, really thin. '94th pitch. And Fuentes flails at it. That is strikeout number 9. Well, this is how an ace pitches.
Left fielder, David Peralta.
John's living up to that, what he wants to be. You said 9 strikeouts, 7 flyouts, 4 ground ball outs, 94 pitches, 68 for strikes.
David Peralta has nicked him twice for singles, 2 for 3. And Peralta gets a breaking ball. We were watching a show last night. We all grabbed a libation after the ball game, and we were watching on one of the televisions. There was a Diamondbacks program on. Jody Jackson, who has been doing sidelines for the Diamondbacks for years, wonderful talent, and it was like the Seinfeld thing. It's like she drove, right? Yeah. There's a player sitting in the front seat, and they drive and converse, and we're watching. You know, we're having something to eat. Like it's like 45 minutes later, we look up and they're still driving around Phoenix. This is a long show. It's a long drive, huh?
Took the long way home,
right? Where's David live?
The 303 to the 202 to the 101.
See you later. What an inning for Gray. What a time for it. Shortest inning of the night. His first 1-2-3 inning. It took him only 9 pitches. Enough that he may be able to stick around for the 8th. 4-2 Colorado. We're to talk to John Gray. He's thrown 98 pitches. It looks like he's going to continue on. He has 10 strikeouts. And he had a dominant 7th inning. Who Wants Tacos fans, follow us at AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies Taco Special when the Rockies eclipse the 7-run mark. Trevor Story in the 8th inning will lead it off. Trevor's 1 for 3, a double. He also was robbed of a base hit that would have scored a run in the 5th inning on a sliding catch by David Peralta. J.J. Hoover will take over his 45th appearance this year. Pitched a third of an inning last night. He got Raimel Tapia.
Just 5 pitches last night. 13 out of his last 16 have been scoreless.
Trevor's starting to swing the bat against righties. It's a curveball, strike 1.
For JJ, that curveball really his 3rd pitch. He likes the fastball slider combo.
St. Louis did win tonight 13-4. We mentioned that Milwaukee won earlier 5-2. This is back at Hoover. And the Dodgers, after Kelby Tomlinson gave the Giants a 1-0 lead on a home run against Kershaw, they now have a 4-1 lead in the 5th inning.
Yeah, Puig got a double, then you had a sac fly from Corey Seager, and they tacked on another one.
Mark Reynolds a line out, called out on strikes, and a ground ball to 3rd. Ball 1.
I want to see homer number 30.
Nice round number.
Yeah.
Just looks better on the scoreboard.
It does.
I'm with you.
You don't ever want to finish a season with a 9 on any of your stats.
Certainly, I think the worst would be
299.
299.
Yes, right. It's the worst.
29 home runs still looks pretty good.
Yeah, but 30 looks way better.
30 looks way better. I'd agree with you. 2-1. There's something psychological about 99. It's only $4.99. That's the payment. Oh, bargain.
3 easy payments of $4.99.
Right. It's nowhere near $1,500. This ball pulled down the line. Extra bases for Reynolds. He won't get his 30th home run here. What he will get is his 20th double. And that sounds a lot better than 19, Spilly.
Right? Cargo used to make me tell this story. Let's take a look at the swing first. Hanging slider, same pitch that Nolan hit last night for a home run. And Mark Reynolds just gets the bat head out, rips it right past Jake Lamb. Cargo used to make me always tell this story about back in 2007, game 163. At the start of that game, prior to Jake Peavy starting and me being in the lineup, I was hitting .301. At the end of the game, after going 0 for 3, I finished the season hitting .299. And so as the team was celebrating, I joked that I sat in my locker upset because everybody was having a great time, but I finished the season hitting .299.
Yeah, that's no fun. Jonathan Lucroy, a base hit, an intentional walk, and a ground ball to 3rd. Raimel Tapia has come out on deck, so it looks like John Gray is going to conclude his evening's work.
Scott Oberg in the bullpen. Scott.
You know who could be a candidate to close this game again?
Yeah, I was just going to go there with Carlos.
Carlos Estevez. With everybody down, and you look at your available options, and you know, it's been a rough year command-wise, as everybody knows, for Adam Ottavino. He'd be the likely choice, but I'm not saying he doesn't show up, but it may be Estevez, who closed last year and is in a pretty good place with how he's been pitching. So it's not completely foreign for him to walk out there in the 9th inning. But first things first, we're in the 8th, and the Rockies trying to add on.
I know Mark's not going anywhere out at second base, but he's kind of dancing around trying to distract J.J. Hoover. Or should I say, I don't think he's going anywhere.
And Lucroy pops it up to shallow right center. Descalso, former Cal Davis star, makes the catch. 2 outs. And Rymel will try to exact some revenge against J.J. Hoover, who struck him out last night.
Pitch hitting for John Gray, number 7.
You want to gear up for a Rockies September to remember at your local Rockies dugout store, the place for all things Rockies.
Well, Hoover is not going to face Rymel.
I'm not sure if Rymel is going to get a chance to hit. They'll recall him and go either to Pat or Ian. Jorge De La Rosa comes in.
Four-two Colorado. All this week on the club. Take the field, listen in as Gerardo Parra wears the microphone during BP. And he wasn't the only one mic'd this week. Stu Cole gets vocal, directing traffic at third base, plus get to know recent call-up outfielder Mike Tauchman. And Spilly will take us through his most recent rally antics. That more, as they say, on the club this week after the Twitter postgame show. This is interesting. So De La Rosa summoned, and Ian Desmond will take the at-bat now. And that's inside. And Desmond has great numbers against De La Rosa. I don't get, again, why Torey Lovullo, who's obviously a good baseball man, he has his reasons, but he had a young guy in Tapia against Hoover, Hoover struck him out last night. Now you have a veteran guy who has great numbers, and he's going to get it worked out because De La Rosa gets Desmond, but you just wonder why he wanted that matchup as opposed to the veteran in Hoover against the kid in Tapia. Rockies lead 4-2, middle of 8th. Rockies baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Say yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Wyoming's Office of Tourism. Wyoming is full of adventure. It's time to find out if you are too. That's why travelwyoming.com. And by UC Health, live extraordinary. Inside Chase Field, the Rockies trying to make it 2 straight against the Diamondbacks. They're up 4-2, bottom of the 8th. It's Scott Oberg who's throwing the baseball more consistently with success over the last couple of weeks than at any point this year. Will handle the 8th. They'll have Iannetta, Lamb, and Goldschmidt. And the former UConn star slider is slashed at and fouled off.
Well, he's been more successful because he's throwing more strikes. I think right before he got sent down, it was falling behind too many hitters. But since he's come back, he's commanded the strike zone with those 2 pitches, fastball and slider. We've seen the fastball 98 miles an hour, touching 100 a couple times.
Unscored upon in his last 6. That pitch at 97 just missed, down low, 1-1. And he's unscored upon in 7 of his last 8. Last 2 outings, he struck out the side.
Just looking at the numbers, Chris is 0 for 2 lifetime against Oberg. Jake Lamb, who's on deck, is 0 for 5, and Goldie 2 for 8. You have to go through a little bit of the teeth of this lineup.
One and 2 on Iannetta. Ground ball to third. Nolan's got it, and he makes the throw across, 1 out.
Calling all college students take a study break, which is much needed, and come out to the ballpark on Friday, September 15th. Purchase a special ticket package and receive a special college night item and discounted ticket.
Jake Lamb tonight, 2 strikeouts and a sac fly in the 3rd to tie the game at 2. Cargo has been the Rockies' offense tonight. 2 2-run home runs of considerable length. It's almost the same spot in right center field, way over the pool. The Rockies, in fact, are 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position.
That's because Cargo's hitting them in when they're just at first base.
Yeah, that should count.
Right?
They're in scoring position if they're at first.
Well, the big boys are in scoring position when they step in the batter's box. Two strikes on Lamb. Good action on that curveball. It's 1-2.
And the spot you want to throw 0-2. Just out of the Subaru strike zone.
Well, the big turnaround for Oberg in the last month has been his ability to throw first pitch strikes.
And a jam shot to shallow center. Charlie's there, 2 outs. John Gray tonight, 2 runs over 7 innings. He allowed 7 hits, did not walk a batter, and struck out 10. It's only the 10th time in Rockies history that a pitcher's had 10 or more strikeouts and no walks and allowed 2 or fewer runs in a game. For John, he's done it twice now in his young big league career. Here's Goldschmidt. Strike 1 on Goldie.
Oberg's first pitch strike ratio is now over 83%. That's the best out of all relievers in baseball over the last month.
Goldschmidt down the line, foul, and he's behind 0-2. Tonight is the second time that Gray has struck out 10 in a game this year. The other time was down here when he returned off the disabled list after missing a couple of months. He struck out 10 Diamondbacks in 6 innings. Ended a Rockies losing streak. 0-2 on Goldschmidt. And a ground ball that's handled by Arenado. Tough hop, and is he out at first? Yep. Good play by Reynolds to stay on the bag. Rockies will hang around the field because the Diamondbacks are going to take a look at this. That was a tough hop for Arenado.
Well, he really had to fight that. Had to wait to see where that hop was going to be and then make the spin throw, and Mark kept his foot on the bag.
Oh, they want to look at it.
Take a look at it. Well, and to their point, it doesn't hurt anything. It's the 8th inning.
Well, it depends when he caught it. That's,
you know what I mean? I mean, it's the 8th inning. Why not go ahead and challenge it? Foot on the bag, foot on the bag. Still there. He's out on the Subaru Supermo.
That is such a cool stretch by Mark Reynolds.
Great shot. It's not there. If you back it up, that's the one that's key, because as soon as it touches leather, it's deemed a catch.
There. Foot still on the bag.
Hey, how many times have you seen a first baseman make this stretch? I can't think of a time that I've seen a guy stretch like that.
He's out.
There you go. What a play, Mark Reynolds.
Nice inning, Scott Oberg. Jenny and Sully coming up here. De La Rosa remains in the ball game to throw the top of the 9th. 4-2 Colorado. 7 hits for the Rockies, 7 hits for the Diamondbacks.
It might be just for Charlie. Braden Shipley is up in the Diamondbacks bullpen. I don't see anybody up in the Rockies.
Not yet. That's interesting. De La Rosa misses there. It's 2-0. All-time winningest pitcher for the Colorado Rockies. De La Rosa has remade himself as a reliever here in Arizona. the twilight of his career. This is popped up, and it is.
Oh, what a catch
by Marte. Wow. He stole that out of the first row.
All right, when you're going over towards the stands, you start to worry about, you know, the low fence. He gives a glance, and also that fence where he caught that ball sticks out an extra 6-7 inches from the other guys, and he catches it right at the end of his glove on the Subaru Supermo.
LeMahieu 1 for 3 and a walk, and they do not have much of a shift on at all with De La Rosa on the hill. And De La, we've seen him at 95 out of the bullpen this year for Arizona.
But he throws a lot of those split fingers, as we remember, for all those years. So that's
a ton of off-speed pitches, and that's why, as you suggest, you're not getting the shift here for DJ.
When he beat it last time too, with that ball up the middle.
Guys, you were talking about not having somebody warming up in the bullpen. I'm watching Scott Oberg sitting on the bench. He had his arm wrapped up in a towel earlier. And I think when you look at where the lineup is with JD Martinez and Pollock.
We only threw 11 pitches, Billy. So that helps.
And Buddy's a field guy, especially given the circumstance of the evening with Neshek down, with Holland down, with McGee down. He's a field guy, and I know he liked what he saw in terms of sharpness of stuff. And as Billy was addressing, the first pitch strikes from Oberg. The other thing about Oberg, and I'm sure you guys played with one or two of these kind of guys with each club you were on. The guy who's got a rubber arm who never seems to fatigue. I mean,
Scott.
He's pitched a lot lately.
Scott's that guy.
Scott always answers the bell. Two-two. And De La Rosa strikes out LeMahieu.
Right fielder.
This will be a fun matchup between De La Rosa and Carlos Gonzalez. They spend so much time. They basically talk to each other almost every day on the phone, whether they're teasing each other or just checking in. And knowing how well Cargo is hitting, you know De La Rosa wants nothing to do with him.
Folks in the pool, heads up.
We already gave 2 splash downs tonight. We had the one bounce around a couple times out in that pool. There was the 2, and then the other one was off that back wall behind it.
Oh, 0-2.
De La Rosa has a smirk on his face the last 2 pitches because he knows how bad Cargo wants to hit a ball hard off De La Rosa.
And De La Rosa wins the battle on 3 pitches. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Scott Oberg will try to close it out. It's the Rockies 4, the Diamondbacks 2. Looking for 3 more outs to shake hands. 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. It was a pick attempt early in the game by John Gray. The Diamondbacks got 2 runs against Gray. That's it. John went 7 innings. And now Scott Oberg looking for just his 3rd major league save. It would be his 1st this year. And 4 times this year he has gone 2 innings. As recent as September 1st against the Diamondbacks. And he will get J.D. Martinez, who homered back in the 2nd to begin the 9th. First pitch is grounded foul. He went breaking ball.
And that was a smart call from Jonathan Lucroy. You know J.D.'s trying to think, well, not an established guy out there in the 9th inning. He wants to get that first pitch strike over with the fastball, and they cross him up.
The sinker in. That's a good spot.
Pitch. Great location.
Yeah, the arm feels good. He's thrown 3 out of the last 4 days. That fastball at 98. A lot of adrenaline going for Oberg. Slider again. In the air to deep right. Cargo hoping for an opportunity. It goes off the wall. And Martinez stops at 2nd.
He's just a machine right now.
He is right now by far not only the toughest out in the Arizona lineup, one of the toughest outs in baseball.
Didn't get that one down and away and allowed JD to take it to right field. 22nd double this season. Getting within an eyelash of going out. Instead it's just a double. Now for the Rockies, they do have double barrel action. It's Chris Rusin and Carlos Estevez. I think Scott has to remember here is he still has a 2-run lead. A.J. Pollock did 500 in his career against against Scott, 3 for 6.
Pollock made the last out of the game yesterday. And one thing that's been consistent is Oberg's getting ahead.
Getting ahead, whether it's the slider or the fastball. The other thing with this fastball tonight, it's got some movement on it.
Ninth inning, toughest 3 outs. Seems every night of the week. Good pitch.
Where is that pitch?
That's frustrating.
It is.
That's where you're taught to throw the baseball.
You make a money pitch like that, it should be 0-2.
Mark Rippiger missed it. 1-1.
Now focus on this next pitch.
Ground ball to 3rd. Nolan will hold the runner. And they get Pollock at 1st. 1 out.
Scott didn't shy away after that slider to JD. Went right back to it with Pollock. Got the rollover.
This is where Buddy's a master. He knows obviously what bats are available on the bench for Arizona. Descalso coming up. He's been probably their top guy off the bench. He's starting tonight. So here comes Rusin into the ball game. Great job by Scott Oberg. the ninth. The Rockies lead 4-2. J.D. Martinez doubled to begin the inning. Pollock just grounded out. Now Chris Russin has been summoned, who has been one of the most valuable relievers in baseball by any metric. In fact, he has a top 10 bullpen WAR in Major League Baseball this year. He's thrown 77 1/3. He's going to get Descalso to begin. And Daniels hitting just 186 against lefties.
The 77 1/3 innings, that's second in the major leagues among all relievers.
Chris Russin, the 30-year-old out of the University of Kentucky. Former 4th-round pick in '09 of the Cubs. Descalso, a single in the 4th, 1 for 3. 2 strikeouts as well tonight. In the air to center field. Charlie going back, should have a play. That's the second out. Martinez will move to third.
Off the end of the bat, just enough to allow Charlie to run underneath it. One out away. Ketel Marte against left-handed pitching is hitting 255. It's righties, it's almost 300, 297.
The one big bat available on that bench that has a lot of experience is Brandon Drury.
It's on the on-deck circle.
He's come out to hit next if there's a next.
Always have to pay attention when there's a runner at third with Chris Russin, because he has to acknowledge to the umpire that he is pitching out of the windup.
Fouled off.
Well, and that allows him to use the quick pitch.
And here's something about Russin you may not realize. Chris is actually in this marvelous year, and he was good last year. Chris has actually been even more effective against righties than lefties. Righties are hitting only 202 against him. That's a great block. 1-1.
I think that's because of his changeup. Has the action of a fastball, and then just dies and floats away from the right-hander.
One on 23-year-old Ketel Marte. And now Chris is ahead 1-2.
Let's see if he does his quick pitch changeup. See if he can get Marte to jump at it.
Here we go. 1-2, quick pitch.
Good call, Spilly.
It's so hard as a hitter, having had this done to myself, not to jump and panic, and you see a pitch coming to just swing.
He may do it again. 2 outs, runner at third. 2-2, Rockies up 4-2. Ground ball, weakly hit to second. DJ's got it. The Rockies have won again. A 4-2 final. Chris Russin gets his second career save, and the Rockies are 6-0 on this road trip out west. John Gray gets the win. He's 8-4. Taijuan Walker takes the loss. He's 9-8. That's 8 consecutive road wins for the Rockies. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. It was a flashback night for what Carlos Gonzalez, such a difficult 2017, but he's been coming on in September, and he was the star of the show tonight. 2 long 2-run home runs, and the Rockies prevail 4-2. Let's go to Denver. Here's Jenny and Corey. Guys, all yours.